This week, I am bringing on another special guest. For the last few weeks, I've been interviewing some really awesome folks and who've had some really cool messages to share. And when I find somebody who's got a message I enjoy or like that fits with the mission of the show, live your mission, love your life, I always like to bring those folks to you guys. And I know that this guest has a lot of information to share. So you're going to want to grab a pen and a paper and get ready to take some notes. She was a physical therapist, treated over 5,000 people, a mom multiple times over. She's got a whole herd of kids going on. And that alone is like a testimony of strength, which is always pretty impressive. Also a pilot, if I remember correctly, a missionary, all sorts of amazing stuff. As I always find with people who are hustling and successful, they are doing more than it seems humanly possible. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Rachelle Baum. Rachelle, introduce yourself to our guests and let everybody know who you are and what you're up to and where they can find you and all that sort of thing. And we will jump in.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Joe. I'm really excited to be on your show today because I feel like I'm living my mission. One thing I did when I got married to my husband is I wanted to become a physical therapist. He wanted to become an engineer, and we wanted to have 8 kids. And so we did. So we actually do have 8 kids. I had 4 boys.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yep. 4 boys.
How in the world did you manage to get such the perfect package of boys and girls?
Yeah, I know. I call it our dream team. It's seriously like, a dream come true. It's really one of the most important things, if not the most important thing I've done actually in my life is be a mother. And, each of my children teach me amazing things. And so that's something that I feel like is, valued in life is the things I learned from my own children and the relationships I have with them. It's something that I can keep with me, I believe that we have a mission in life to fill. Actually in my church, we believe that we lived before we came here, and that the reason we're here is to learn things. That's why I love, your find, share, and inspire, finding out why we're here and what we're supposed to do has been what's kind of guided me on the things that I've done. I love learning new things. I love taking on challenges because I feel like that's what we're here to do. And you learn by mistakes many times. I've made a lot of mistakes having my kids and things that I've done, but the things I've learned have really helped me. And so that's what I want to do is also share and inspire like you do, and share that with others. So
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you have a really great message you want to share today. I haven't talked yet about how really fitness connects to success, and being healthy connects to success. It's one of those obvious things if you ask me, but if you're not healthy, it's hard to be successful. If you don't have a lot of energy to get up and go, it's hard to get the going done. I definitely believe that being fit and healthy and living a healthy lifestyle leads to, or is at least a necessary part of being successful. And so we focus our message a lot on entrepreneurs here. And so I know you had 3 steps to success that you wanted to talk about in being healthy. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want to turn over the floor to you, so to speak, and kind of share with everybody the information you wanted to share today.
Sure, absolutely. So before that, let me just start by saying that I've kind of been there, done that in a lot of ways because I've been an athlete in my life, and so I've had injuries as well. Trying to be fit, I've had to learn by trial and error actually, and becoming a physical therapist has been one of the most important things in teaching me about, why fitness is successful, because what I do every day is I try and improve people's quality of life because one, they're either in pain or they've had an injury or they're trying to, start something that they know they should do they don't feel good about themselves or they don't feel strong or confident. And, oftentimes we take our health for granted. So I work with people that have problems and injuries. And so it's been a really great experience for me learning that, and then that's what I see every day. So I think about that for my own self. If I'm not taking care of myself, how am I supposed to help other people as well? So that's part of why, being fit is super important to being successful in your life, because if you can't take care of yourself, then, it's really hard. I've had to take care of 8 kids, so I've been, had to think about that. I see patients every day that can't take care of themselves. So that really keeps me, motivated to keep myself up. I tell people when they ask me, how have I had 8 kids and look the way I do? Well, I kind of have to practice what I preach, So the things that I've learned and kind of the take-home message I want to teach people is, one, strength training is really the fundamental place that you should start, because whether you've had an injury or not, and whether you want to become more fit, you need to start with strengthening your muscles, because your muscles account for 75% of the shock absorption of your joints. So if you try and start, doing something too fast or too quickly, and you're going to end up with an overuse injury, which would be something like a tendinitis, plantar fasciitis, some kind of itis, which is usually an overuse injury. And so people make the mistake of starting something without strengthening their muscles first, and then they can't keep doing it, because then they have a pain somewhere and they think, oh no, I'm really hurt, or I can't do this anymore. Oh, I have to see the doctor now. And so that really impairs them. So, as a physical therapist, that's the first thing we do, is start with strengthening your body. And so even my elderly patients start with the basics, and that's strength training. So in Live to Live, I've noticed with women, especially, women don't go over to the weights in the gym. They're too intimidated by it, maybe because there's guys over there and they don't know how to lift weights. Well, women especially, because after the age of 40, you start losing 1% of your bone density every year, so you're going to be more at risk for having osteoporosis. So I see a lot of women that fall, break things. And even when you're young, you still have to start with the strength training, because, one of the take-home messages I teach in my webinar is that when you strengthen your muscles, even at a young age, there's something that's called muscle memory, which is little nuclei that get put in your muscle cells, and they are never lost. So that means when you go on vacation, or you take time off, or you have a baby, I've had to do this several times, you have to take some time off from working out and strengthen your body just to recover. And when you start back up, that muscle memory is super important and super key in helping you rehabilitate and get your muscles strong again. They usually kind of remember where they were and jump right back faster. So even when you're young, it's still important to do the strength training. So that's one of my take-home messages. That go ahead.
Do you find that I love the having some background and training in physical therapy and all added to being a fitness trainer, personal trainer, doing that sort of thing. There's a lot of extra knowledge there that's beneficial. Do you find that if people have been, if this is what you were getting at, if people that have been already working out and kind of developing that habit of health and like you said, their muscle memory, if they actually experience an injury, later after being in training, that they're quicker to recover?
Yeah. If they've already had some muscle memory developed, when we do therapy on people before they have surgery, because the studies show that even after they've had surgery, if they're stronger before that, their recovery is much faster. So yeah, somebody that's already working out and starting that, if they have some kind of injury, they'll definitely rehabilitate much faster. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
My webinar, I bring up 3 breakthroughs that I talk about, because breakthroughs, in my opinion, are when you didn't have the right information and then you found out the right information. It made it, instead of a stumbling block, you have like a stepping stone now, because you figured out what you can do and how to move forward. And so one of the breakthroughs that I found, a lot of women think if you do strength training, you're going to be like a bodybuilder in the gym and look like a man. And if there's anything I've learned having 8 kids and having several businesses that we own and being super busy, that's the secret, or a breakthrough that I found out, is that 20 minutes of strength training is so effective at reversing aging. And when I was in physical therapy school, a friend of mine, she shared a book with me, and this was, I've been a therapist for 23 years, so it was a long time ago. The book is called Strong Women Stay Young. That's what inspired me, but I've had to practice it, and it's worked for me. Is the studies they did is women lose 1% of their bone density every year after the age of 40, because their hormones decrease, and that's the tendency that they have. And so the study they did was women did just 20 minutes of strength training 3 days a week. And after 1 year, they had reversed 3% of their osteoporosis. So that's like reversing 3 years worth of aging in just a year with just 20 minutes of strength training. And so that's what I also want women to understand, that, you don't have to go in the gym and spend an hour or 2 hours lifting weights. First of all, you're not, you don't have to be like a bodybuilder. And it's so effective because, first of all, you're strengthening your body. You're not going to get an injury if you want to start doing cardio on top of that or progress to a higher level of fitness. So it's
for those who are curious, the book was Strong Women Stay Young by Miriam Nelson and Sarah Wernick, PhD.
Yeah. Great. Appreciate that. Thank you for that reference. I'm sorry I didn't have that. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, and the other thing too about strength training, I have my mom is 90 years old and she does strength training, and she just went to Germany with us for 2 weeks and climbed Neuschwanstein castles. We did Paris in a day, drove 12 hours in a day, and she's had 12 children. I'm actually the youngest of 12 children, and she has 75 grandchildren and over 105 great-grandchildren. And she doesn't miss a birthday. She travels to visit her grandchildren. And she taught me, even when I was young, how important being, healthy, nutritious, and being active and doing exercises. When I became a physical therapist, I've helped her learn strength training principles. She's so grateful that I've taught her that. I actually videoed her this last Christmas, jumping up on her bed to show me the exercise she did, getting down on the floor, doing yoga stuff. And she's always told me how grateful she is I've taught her those things, because it's helped her be able to continue seeing her family and visiting her family and enjoying her amazing posterity. So anyway.
Well, the a principle that I definitely believe in, and this, I attend church regularly, and a phrase that I heard a long time ago that I've always really loved is that there's no retirement in the kingdom. And the concept of retiring is not a spirit-based idea. Because we may retire from a job or whatever else, but we are always on our mission. We are always about what we were created to be here for. And so, live your mission, love your life. I want to love my life until the day I die, not until age 65.
Awesome.
So let's figure out what our mission is. And I talk about this a lot on the show. Let's figure out what our mission is, and then let's do everything with every bit of our being to get into it, become a master of it, and to be about it 24/7. Because when we're really doing what we were called to do, we help transform other people for the better, And I really think the opposite is true as well, and that when we're not living our mission and we're just going about our life in a kind of a humdrum sort of way, go along to get along kind of existence, we're actually doing harm, because when you don't care about your existence, your life, everything else, it radiates out to other people. And if you're an employee for somebody, you're just not as good an employee. If you're doing your own company and you're not in love with it, you're not as good at the business you're doing. It affects all of our life. So, live your mission, love your life. First of all, it's a lot more fun, and you help a lot more people.
Absolutely. I see that every day. I'm really glad you said that, because people have this idea that, I'm going to retire at this and 65. And generally, statistics show that after people retire, I think it's 25%, but they have an increased chance of mortality rate after you die, because
Very true.
they sell themselves short of stop being, they stop being active, they stop increasing their intelligence through, doing like they did at work and facing challenges that, stimulate growth and that kind of thing. And so, that's what I see every day. People that I've seen several 90-year-olds, and, they're on a walking program, they're doing an exercise program. They've done that all their lives. They continue. I have a 93-year-old that's still writing. He writes books. He's written several books. He just had a knee replacement at 92. And so I want people to know that, what your choices you're making now do affect you later, and your quality of life is so important that, it's never too late to start. Think about those things now, small and simple decisions you make do affect you later, and you'll be faced with challenges. But if you're positive and face things with a positive, enthusiastic attitude, that'll help you change and help inspire other people around you as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know you had some points you were sharing, so I didn't mean to derail you. So I'll turn it back over to you on that.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So the third point that, so first of all, it's strength training is so effective, 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. I actually have a program that's 5 days a week, just 20 minutes exercise training program that actually strengthens all the muscles in your body. And some people think that you have to do a lot, but generally the physical therapist in me, knows that when you strengthen a group of muscles, they need some time to recover. They need 2 or 3 days to get strong again. So really strengthening a muscle group and then giving it maybe once a week even is so effective. And so, like I said, 20 minutes of strength training, the exercise program that I have is super easy to follow. We can all find 20 minutes of our day, right? We spend 20 minutes on Facebook, 20 minutes reading our email, 20 minutes eating, 20 minutes, taking a power nap sometimes for me. We don't realize how much time we spend maybe doing something that really isn't benefiting us. So that's what I want people to know, that 20 minutes is super easy and super effective if you're doing strength training. So then the second thing too is learning strength training is very easy. Actually, my Lift to Live, I have an anatomical mannequin, anatomical model, Kim, that shows the muscles that you're actually exercising so that you actually learn the muscles of the body. So that's important information. That's what you should learn about your body and appreciate your body. It's really a great gift that you have. They're very instructive, but it's very easy to learn. And if you just take some time, you'd be surprised how quickly you can learn it and just really appreciate how your body works. So that's something that's kind of unique about my program, is I actually show you what a doctor would know and a physical therapist knows in a very easy way to understand how your muscles move the body. And even my elderly patients understand it. Once you understand how your body moves and works, it's easier for you to remember and appreciate, what you've done and not to slip back or just to keep moving forward because of progress you've made and what you've learned. It's really important to learn that information. So strength training, you don't have to spend much time. It's very easy to learn strength training. And then the third principle, which I still haven't talked about yet, is how to be successful by finding a gym buddy or a workout friend. So, I've had such great experiences. First of all, I was an athlete, right? So I played team sports, and, some of my best friends I still keep in touch with because I played sports with them. I did things with them. And so people that work out together generally are very successful because, one, they enjoy it. Super important to understand that you enjoy what you're doing. Why would you keep doing something if you don't enjoy it, right? So the studies that they've done of Baylor, actually, 3 studies, that was a diet-only group, a diet and exercise group, and an exercise-only group. And so the group that lost the most weight was actually the diet and exercise group. But after a year follow-up study, guess who had lost the most weight overall? The exercise-only group. So, we see a lot of fad diets around there, and people pick up on that because they want a quick fix. But generally, if you just apply the principle of a good exercise routine, something you enjoy, something that you can do, and stick with that, you'd be surprised how successful that can be. And so finding a workout buddy is probably the most important, simple thing that people overlook to helping you be successful. I've had such great experiences with my friends. Sometimes I don't have a friend because I have a crazy schedule. So sometimes I slip because I don't have a current workout buddy. Couple of my friends, went on vacation for a while and had things come up in their family, so they didn't work out with me for a while, so I had to try and find somebody else. So there's really great apps out there now that encourage that group accountability kind of factor that helps people be successful, because it's more fun if you're working out with somebody.
Do you find, I think for just the way the complexity of the mind, the way people look at any goal in life, not just working out. I think this is pertinent to everything. It's that getting started, just taking the first step is often the most difficult. And so removing hurdles from getting started. So for instance, if I was 300 pounds and 4'6", and I'm as round as I am tall, I know that I should be working out, I know I should be eating right, etc. But if somebody said, okay, we're going to go to the gym, or we're going to spend an hour a day in the gym for the next 6 months, or that may feel overwhelming. And so just getting started is going to be overwhelming in that scenario. I find that simply saying, okay, if you were going to start, could you get up each morning and walk out to the front of your driveway and back? Is that reasonable? If your brain's reaction, if your first thought to that reaction is, well, I could do that, right? Then that's where you start. And great, do that for 21 days and start that habit. And then once you've got that down and you're used to it, and it's no big deal and it's part of the routine, well, now let's walk down to the side, let's walk down to the stop sign and back. And get going, because I think, for a lot of folks, and this is with anything, this is starting a business, this is writing a book, this is, you name it, it's just getting started that is the hurdle. And so if you've always wanted to write a book, well, write a paragraph today. If you've always wanted to start your own business, start a little research and keep a notebook on the different things you're going to have to get done. What does it look like to get a DBA? I mean, whatever you're working towards, just taking a first step. If your mind's reaction to that first step is, whoa, that's going to be tough, back up a step and get to the point where your mind's reaction is, I think I could do that. I can at least do that. And now you're on your way. And so for working out, bringing that back to your subject, if somebody was really out of shape, they've been out of the gym for forever, their energy level's low, all this stuff, is there any little advice you could give somebody to just get started?
Thanks so much, Jill. I really love that, because that's pretty funny you say that, because my kids, they always tease me about me saying that to them, right? Like when they're trying to get their homework, or they're supposed to be doing their homework, I'm like, remember, the hardest part is getting started. Just get started, and actually, I did a twin study when I was my freshman year of college, and I was an athlete, but I had never really been a runner so much, and I didn't do much cycling. But the guy that did the dissertation did it on twins and the effects of exercise on heredity on physical fitness. So we actually started out like biking for 5-minute sessions and running for 5-minute sessions. So we had all walks of people, all kinds of twins, all different kinds of people that never worked out, people that had work out, and we all started 5 minutes, right? And that seemed really easy, but and the program went for 6 months. We did body fat testing, we did VO2 max testing. It was really exciting, actually. And by the end of the study, we had moved up to 45-minute sessions, right? So I gradually started, because I'd never been a runner. I didn't, know I could even run, more than half a mile. But so by the time I was done with 45-minute sessions, I was running like a 5K easily, at a slow pace, and actually from that kind of launched me into being able to run marathons and half marathons and do some triathlons and that kind of thing. And so I love that you said it, because it all started with just a 5-minute goal, right? And so I depend on that a lot, and I tell people that a lot of my experience. That's really helped me a lot in my life, because I actually just met with a lady that's, like you said, 4'9", 300 pounds, and she doesn't know where to start. And I said, you can do this if you want to start in the pool. You could start in a pool and just start for 5 to 10 minutes. She had pneumonia, and just ever since then, since Christmas, she's just not had any energy to do anything. And she's excited. And what she found out is I'd said on my Facebook Messenger, whoever wants to have a breakthrough session with me, that's what I'd like to do. Just have a breakthrough session. Let's talk about what it is that's keeping you from getting started. It may be a shoulder injury, that you had in high school, a football injury or something that's just, preventing you from getting started. But you start with those baby steps, like you say, and you set those little small, people don't realize the power of just a small, simple decision that can help you get started. I also encouraged her to, I can help her be accountable. You can get on MyFitnessPal, join some groups where you can have people, check up on you. In my webinar, I talk about the value of somebody else, they call it virtual team playing or team training, where a group of people that were exercising, all they did was just call them once a week. They just checked in with them, and the group that had a phone call a week actually were more successful, exercised 200% more than the other group. So you can just ask a good friend just to check up on you, make a phone call and ask how you're doing. My husband has a nutritionist that works with him and just calls him every 1 or 2 weeks, and that really helps you be accountable. So you can find a way to have someone just check up on you, and maybe that would help you get started and stick to something. But if you start with small baby steps, just like that, it doesn't have to be very long, you'll see that you'll feel better, you'll be more confident, and continue to do it if it's something that you're enjoying able to do.
Excellent. Well, I always like to ask my guests, put you on the spot here and say, if folks were watching this and they were contemplating, I know I need to get fit, is there something you could offer the folks who watch the show as a little special incentive, special motivation to get them going? And if so, where do we find you?
Yeah, sure. Well, I have my Live to Live Facebook page, so I've had people message me on there, and we can do, I call it a breakthrough session, where I do like a quick assessment and figure out what we can do to correct things. I've done that I counted a list just this last week of 12 different people that, started doing something and something started hurting and they're afraid, oh no, something's wrong and now I have to go to the doctor. Generally, it's an overuse injury. I know some simple tricks that I learned. One of the most important tricks I learned in physical therapy school, which I've used, has helped so many of my patients. And, they could start that day because I showed them what they needed to do. So I would encourage them to, have a breakthrough session. I've been there, done that. Believe me, I've had a lot of, setbacks through pregnancies and I've done tendonitis things myself where I've jumped up too quickly and started a routine, or I've seen people that have done the same. And so just checking in with me, let's have a breakthrough session, see what it is, what you want to do, what your goals are, and how I can get you started. That's what I would love. I love doing that. I've done that for so many people. That's my passion, is sharing what I've learned and encouraging and inspiring you and checking in with you to make sure that you're happy and you're doing a great job too.
All right, I've got it up on the screen for folks. Your Facebook page, I Live to Live, and so that's how they can reach you. And if they wanted to do the breakout session with you, what does that entail?
The breakthrough session?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can meet with you. We can do, a Skype. We can do just like we do video. I have Zoom. We could do that. Depending on where you're at. Of course, if you're out of state, we would have to do it that way. But I've fixed people on the phone, told them what, things that they could do to help them get started. So it's basically me understanding what's limiting you, maybe what your fears are. And also, of course, Live to Live, my strength training program, is the fundamentals. It's really the basics. If you learn those, and really my goal is to help people, do it themselves, fix themselves. So that's the information that I give them. It's super powerful. It's not something to make you dependent on me. My goal really is to help you learn it yourself, be confident to do it on your own, and inspire and share it with others and encourage them to do the same. So the program is designed for you to learn, about your body, how it works. And they're very short videos, I promise. If you just take a few minutes to do it, within hopefully a month's time, 30 days, you should be independent and going to the gym, going over to those weights, especially if you're a woman, lifting weights showing other women how to do it, inspiring them to do it, and feeling great and really improving your quality of life. The more muscle you have, you higher your metabolism, you'll keep fat off, you'll look great, feel confident, and that will radiate over into the other aspects of your life. If you feel confident, if you feel strong and positive, you're going to radiate that in your workplace, at home with your family, with your spouse, your kids. And my kids, in other instances have said, yeah, if mom's exercising, she feels happy, she's strong, it really helps us as a family too. So they like to do it as well.
Outstanding. And so that breakthrough session with you, is there a charge or the cost of that?
Generally, just to help you get started, I have some other packages. So you can sign up for a membership, and depending on the package that you want, generally if I go with you, which I'm willing to do, depending on your location, depending on how much work you want me to do with you, yes, there's different packages that you can get for the assessment and correction and follow through. So yes, that will be on the Lift to Live website, so you can call me and we can discuss that. Generally, the packages run from $275 to about $650, which is super cheap. As a physical therapist, I can charge a lot more than that, but I'm doing this as a woman that loves strength training and that lives to live and wants to inspire other women to do the same.
Very cool. Outstanding. Well, I thank you for being on today, and I thank you for sharing all the information that you have. Very useful stuff for our folks tuning in, and appreciate you being on.
Awesome, Joe. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for what you do. I appreciate you inspiring others, and I hope to see you doing the same and keeping up, and we'll keep up, I hope. Thanks so much, Joe.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a great.
You too.
Okay. Thanks. See ya.
Bye. All right, guys, that was another session of Live Your Mission, Love Your Life. Be sure to hop over to liveyourmissionloveyourlife.com and check out all the cool shirts and stuff I have over there. Lots of inspirational sayings and all that sort of thing. I think some really cool stuff, some really cool shirts. And support the show, support what we're up to through the show. liveyourmissionloveyourlife.com. Also want to mention the show is sponsored by Go7 Life Insurance. Go7 Life Insurance. And if you are looking to take care of your life insurance, they guarantee the best price in the industry, meet or beat any quote that you have, or they will pay you $100. Go7 Life Insurance. So hop over to go7life.com and you'll find that. All right, guys, that was another session. See you guys next Tuesday, 10 a.m. sharp. We'll be back here again. This is Joe ORsak, and I'm out.